morning guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please do press that like button, and I do thank you all for your support. Thank you. I am here at my flat in Rochester. I'm with my lovely little Chihuahua Max, who keeps me company and is my bestest friend. In life, we don't know what things are going to turn out like. We just don't know. And when it comes to the point where you are crushed, broken, and you've got nothing else to do but carry on, because no one is going to help you, because they don't. You have to fight to survive, fight to live. That's the way it is. And if they taught me that at school, rather than the bollocks that they taught me at school, like pi, algebra, and be nice and kind to people, walk on the left and respect other people, if they'd have taught me that outside is dog eat dog, everybody pushes you about, no one cares about you, they just care about themselves, that would have been better, and I'd have been better prepared. In some circumstances, a bad childhood made me tough, made me strong, and made me realise that no one cared. Okay, so people saying to me, no one cares, or listening to adverts saying, who cares? Because there are adverts saying, unwanted, and who cares? And depressed, vulnerable people listen to the radio. They listen to the television. They're not mad, they're just depressed. You want something happy, uplifting, something that makes you smile and makes you believe life is worthwhile. You don't want to put on the telly and watch something depressing and deflating, which a lot of the news is. And I know we can choose to view what we watch, but sometimes it's too late. We have no choice but to watch adverts. Do we? We don't have a choice. We pay for our TV licence, we watch the BBC, and on channels like ITV and Channel 4 there are adverts, and usually displaying people with lovely shiny teeth, lovely happy homes, and life is just not like that. It isn't. Right, Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. Today is International Day of Happiness. If you're in need of something to get you in the mood, why not ask me to sing a song?
Alexa, sing me a song.
Hey there. Glad you stopped by. I'm your virtual assistant, your cloud-based AI. I can help you with a thing or two. Anytime you're game. Get organised or be surprised, just say my name. I've got timeless reminders, alarms, lists, Bluetooth calls and messages, jokes, songs, stories, games, weather skills and Easter eggs. Get the news, cracks and tunes, hear the score. Wait, there's more. Link me to your calendar, I won't lead you astray. I'm here to save the day. I can bust a rhyme. Call me anytime.
That is true. See, it's International Happiness Day today. International Happy Day. I once said to somebody, I don't want money, I just want to be happy. And ever since then, it was like I felt like everybody was trying to make me unhappy, not happy. I said the top thing I want in this world is to be happy. What about money? I went, no, I just want to be happy. I want to... money can't buy happiness, and that's a well-known saying. Also, when I was at primary school, I liked to, again, enter competitions, do quizzes, do puzzles, right off to newspapers. I did get a letter when I was a 14-year-old girl published in the Daily Mail, but they thought I was a boy. I put my name, Ginestra, and sent it off to the Daily Mail, and they wrongly thought I was a boy. They called me Ginestra he, and I was a she, and that annoyed me so much. And they called me a boy in the Daily Mail, and I was a girl. So the Daily Mail's been going at least since I was 14, because I wrote off a letter to the Daily Mail about something I'd seen in the newspaper when I was 14 years old, and they read it in my school in assembly. So I have done things, I have accomplished things. If I read something in the newspaper that I disagree with or I agree with, I do make a point of saying something about it. So I got a letter published in the Daily Mail when I was at secondary school, and they got my name wrong. They said I was a boy, but the school read it out in assembly, and I remember being so embarrassed and going red in the face. Also, I won a competition, and the quote was, finish this quote, happiness is. And I put Spanish pies because Spanish pies is an anagram of happiness is, and I won something for that as well. So I've always been interested in quizzing, puzzles and things like that. Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Monday the 20th of March.
Alexa, what's the time? Alexa, the time.
The time is 9:20 a.m.
Alexa, the weather.
Currently, in Rochester it's 10 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect showers, with a high of 12 degrees and a low of 8 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do you call a donkey with 3 legs? Wonky.
What do you call a donkey with 3 legs? Wonky. Somebody in Facebook said to me, how are you today? And I said, yesterday was dire. It was Mother's Day. It was pretty bleak. And I said, I hope today's okay. 5 minutes later, after texting that, my mother rings, and I'm doing other things, you know. I love my mum. I saw my mum Saturday. She rang yesterday. She rings every day of the week. But you need other people in your life. You do. And something that happened on Saturday upset me. It upset me, and I've kept it all in. And I think it's time to say it now. Everybody has a right to free speech. I have been round my mum's several times when my dad was alive and when he wasn't, and my mum spoke. She used to say some outrageous things that me and my dad did not disagree with, and sometimes my dad told my mum to shut up. Derek told my mum to shut up, and my mum would, although she professed to being scared of my father, she would answer him back. And when someone's angry, it's best not to answer back. It's best to, if a situation's volatile, it's best to let that person let off steam and keep quiet. But the thing with my mum is, she will make someone angry, and I mean it. She'll say something really derogatory, really degrading, and really hurtful, and it will make you really cross. And my dad used to stand up and he would say, "Shut up, Jennifer," to my mum. And then instead of sitting down and apologising, she would make the situation worse. She would shout back, and then she would mutter things under her breath, loud enough for my dad to hear, and it would make the situation worse. Now, I'm not defending his actions, because when he hit my mum, he shouldn't have. There's no excuse for violence, right? But if you're scared of somebody and they're in a rage, you don't say things to make the situation even worse. And which is what sometimes my mum did. No, she would just mutter things under her breath like, "Oh, Derek, he's oh, Derek." And he would hear it. "Jennifer, what did you say?" She would talk to herself under her breath, and you could hear what she was saying. And she did it to me at Victoria Road as well, and it made me angry too. It made me really upset for some of the things that was coming out, and I think it was meant to make both of us angry. I'm not a violent person, but when someone is talking about my children, saying nasty things about my children, and I'm going to defend my children. I'm not going to stand there and take it. And it's hard when it's an old lady that's doing it. Do you know what I mean? When it's an old lady that is doing it and is being really filthy at times, disgusting, and yelling and shouting and saying things about my dead dad, saying things about people that I really have loved, like my children. What do you do when it's an old lady doing it? So on Saturday, like I said, I let my mum speak. I let my mum let off steam. I let her talk about my dad. I let her rant about my dad. I let her talk about my kids that I don't see. And I don't see my children. And when she's going on about, I maybe one day you'll see your youngest son. I haven't seen him in 15 years. She was going on about me and my ex-husband having a fresh start on Saturday. I suffered domestic violence in my marriage. Do you think I want a fresh start with my ex-husband? We suffered domestic violence and argued. Do you think I want a fresh start with my ex-husband? I don't think so. I left a relationship for a reason. I don't go back. I don't know what she was talking about. That upset me. Like she said that my ex-husband, at Fairfield Court, my mum said my ex-husband likes fat women. Maybe if you get fatter, Ginestra, your ex-husband will take you back. And that's no word of a lie. That's what my mum said to me over the phone at Gloucestershire when I was going through being homeless and poor. And of course that makes you angry, doesn't it? It's done to trigger, to provoke and upset. And that did. Ginestra, if you get fatter, maybe your ex-husband will take you back. Saturday, I was sat round watching the telly, and she said something that must have upset me, and I started speaking. Because I just sit there normally and let her go on and on and on. Your dad's this, your dad's that. Going up to the takeaway delivery drivers, I'm carrying on as usual. And she shouted at me, and she's 77 years old in May. She's an elderly lady, and she went, "Shut up, Ginestra. No one wants to hear your voice." And it shocked me. It shocked me because that she was talking how Derek used to shout at her, and it hurt me. It really hurt. And that was Saturday, and I was on my own yesterday, feeling rotten, depressed and upset after my mum had said that on Saturday. Oh, shut up, Genestra. No one wants to hear your voice. I won't stop. I'm going to be me. I won't stop being me. But there you go. It's going on in Gloucestershire. Taking the piss. Saying nasty things to me to make me do things and get into, could be, confrontations with people and be dangerous to my life. Making me angry. Going outside angry and upset. It was going on in Gloucestershire, it's going on down here, and it went up. She was talking to my ex in London. She was talking to one of my ex partners in London. She was on the phone to him. She talked to Mr. Osman, my ex-partner. My mum did in London. And Mr. Osman's son came from a rich family. He had pure gold jewellery round his neck, round his arms, and they were rich. But Mr. Osman, the dad, who was my partner, was poor. So he'd taken me to a flat in London that had smoke-stained curtains, brown smoke and orange curtains, dirty floor, dirty oven. Mr. Osman had no personal hygiene. He was mentally ill. He'd just come out of being 3 weeks in a mental hospital because his cousin showed me the certificate of him being in a mental hospital for 3 weeks. So how did Mr. Osman get to communicate through the internet to me? I'd met a man that was mentally unstable and he'd been allowed to be let loose on the internet, communicating not only to me but other women. He couldn't look after himself. You have to be careful. And that's what happened. And my mum talked to me in London over the mobile. She talked to Mr. Osman. A lot of things have happened, and it's water under the bridge, the Adele song. Water under the bridge. I'm sorry to say this, my mum's interference all the way through my life is why I'm sat here with nobody and nothing. My husband used to say, every time your mum rings you get depressed. And I did yesterday. I wasn't suicidal, and I walked around the riverside near the river. Pitch black dark, about 8 o'clock last night. One man on the field with a hood over his head, because someone had told me they were ugly on the outside but nice on the inside. And I was walking back to my flat last night and there was a hooded man on the field with a big dog that looked like a wolf. So I'm sat here communicating 3 or 4 times a day with my mother, who tells me to shut up. I'm not saying she spoilt Mother's Day, but she didn't make me feel very happy Saturday at all. In fact, you know, a lot of people go into my mum's, and about an hour of staying in there, they want to run out. One of my son came down to see my mother and me, take me to my mother's. He stayed in there an hour, and he said to me, he said, "Mum, let's go." to me. He went, Mum, let's go. He said, let's go. She started giving the Spanish Inquisition to my son. What's your mum said about me? She said to my son. And what if I'd have said something about my mother to my son, would he have taken me to my mum's? No, he wouldn't have, would he? So she started causing an argument between me and my son. I haven't seen my son since. Since he went round to see my mother, I haven't seen him since. He couldn't wait to get out of there. She's draconian. She's very, very, like, you will tell me, won't you? She shouts. I love my mum, but I can't speak to anybody. I can't have anybody. I haven't seen my son since he went round with me to my mother. I haven't seen him. She started questioning him. What's your mother said about me? And she says to me, why don't your children come round and see me? Because they know what my dad did to me. That's why. That is why. They know what my father did to me. To them, they haven't got grandparents. They don't know my parents. My parents didn't bother to go and see them in Gloucestershire. When my son had cancer, they didn't go and see my son. Yes, my dad sent some money when my son was a baby. He sent a cheque. But they never physically went up to see my kids when they were ill. And one of them was dying when he was a baby. They didn't go up to see my kids. Why would they want to see their gran and granddad when their gran and granddad never bothered with them? So once you go through that front door, it's like you're going to get grilled. The door slams, shuts, and you get a good grilling. So, day before Mother's Day, I get told, shut up, Ginestra. No one wants to hear your voice. Mother's Day, I don't see anybody at all. But my mother calls 2 or 3 times a day. Why should my son take me everywhere? I've said he's got his own life and his own friends. He doesn't want to drag his mother everywhere, does he? Well, Mum, I've put on a bit of weight. But I still don't want my ex-husband. See you later.